welcome to the BMC, and today I'm going to show you guys how to Plasti Dip your bike. If you guys want to find this video, you can find it in our installation playlist. I feel like this is more of an installation, not really a maintenance video, so that's why I'm going to start a installation playlist for this video to go in. First, let's talk about this Plasti Dip. A few things you guys need to know is Plasti Dip is not really like paint. It doesn't really go on like paint. Yeah, it sprays on and it coats on, but it doesn't really adhere to the surface the same way that paint does. Paint actually, more or less, it adheres to the surface that it's using in the grooves. Like you use like a special sandpaper and you create the grooves so then it's not too slick and the paint can adhere to it. But with Plasti Dip, more or less, it bonds to itself and creates like a, almost like a skin layer. I got this frame I'm gonna paint for you guys today. I have it taped in ways where I can get the tape off really quick, because I watched a lot of Plasti Dip videos back when I was trying to learn about it. And one thing that I had to learn for myself that nobody really talks about is how you have to tear the tape off before the coat is dry, or you're gonna have problems. You're gonna be restarting and redoing it all over again. Because the Plasti Dip adheres to itself and it creates like a skin. So wherever I have this paint right here, say if I painted over this and I left the tape there and let it dry, whenever I go to tear the tape off, the tape is going to be underneath the coat. So whenever I go to tear it off, it's just going to peel my coat up on the edge that I want to have clean. So to have the cleanest lines possible, you guys want to tear the tape off while the coat is still wet, and you want to paint areas that have tape last. You want to make sure those are wet. Like when you get done with your coat, go to the areas that have tape and give them a nice little wet coat real quick before you tear them off when you're done. Now what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and paint these two blocks down here for you while I finish talking, so you guys can see what it's like when it dries. Now, I highly encourage you guys to wear a respirator with this stuff. I'm not wearing one because I don't have one at the moment, and I'm currently outdoors and it's fairly breezy, but just make sure you guys be very careful with this stuff because it's a little more toxic than paint. So go ahead and spray it on here. Now, one thing you guys really need to know is the thicker you put it on, the easier it's going to be to peel off. If you guys go over and you watch my other Plasti Dip video, you'll see me peel it off. And the only reason why it looks that easy to peel off is because I put the coat on thick. If you put the coat on really thin, it's not going to peel off very easy. So yeah, there's that coat. I'm going to go right over here and I'm going to show you guys a couple things that I have for you if you guys want to Plasti Dip them yourselves. Right here I have a front fork. This is just one of the things that I did before I go to paint it. I just tape right down around near the bearing race that holds the bearings on the steer tube. And you pretty much can just hold it right here. Make sure you guys wear gloves. You don't want to get it too much on your hands because this stuff is toxic. But you can just come through and you can paint your whole forks like this with them taped up. And if you guys watched that other video, I had these two parts right here in that video. I had actually painted the bars. If you guys go over and watch that video of the unwrap, what I did was I actually painted those bars with the grips on, and I did it exactly like this. But mind you, I did it in a way where I could tear the tape off of the end really quick while the coat is still wet. And this is what I did to the rim when I had painted that. The way Plasti Dip works is you really want to get the coat to curve around an edge, so it curves around and grabs, so it doesn't end up peeling itself off over time, and it makes it really durable. But this is actually what I did to tape that rim off. I just taped right up to the nipple of the spokes, and I do that on both sides, but I didn't do it on this side just so I could show you how I taped it. But I just taped all the way up to the nipple on both sides, and then when I come through and I paint, I'll actually paint in here, like at an angle as I'm spinning it around. So yeah, those are a couple parts right there you guys can do by yourselves. And what I did when I sanded these parts down, if you guys want to, you can use a 60 grit. You use a 60 grit to get the really deep gouges out of the metal and the paint in the frame. And then you can come through with a 120 grit, and that will smoothen the finish and make it really, really smooth to the touch for when you put your coat on. So yeah, and another thing, yeah, I used this is what I used, the Sandblaster blocks, 120 grit, and then I used a 60 grit to get the heavy gouges out. And then I just got myself some tape. So yeah, I'm going to take these two colors right here, guys, and I'm going to show you guys how to paint that frame. All right, here's this board that I painted about 5 minutes ago, and as you can see already, I can peel it. It is dried to the point where it'll start to peel off, and I can just sit here and work at it and peel it off. See, I didn't do it very thick on this, so it's not peeling all in one sheet. But as you can see, as soon as it dried, I mean, it took 5-10 minutes, and it's already to the point of peeling. So that's what Plasti Dip does, if you guys wanted to see it. So now here we got this frame. All right, now, and one of the things that I found out when painting any bike in general, you want to cover the hardest areas to reach first, which would be like under here, in between the underside of the chain stays and seat stays, underneath the top tube, in between the top tube and down tube on the head tube right here, and on the underside. Those are the spots you want to cover first, so then you can get good coverage on those. Because if you do those sections first, say if I went ahead and I painted this perfect, right? And then I went through and I was trying to get that corner, the overspray that I would get a lot of runs in my fresh coat that I just put down. So the hardest areas that you think you're going to be putting the most coats, like the most amount of paint down, you should paint that first. So let's get into it. All right, guys, as you can see, I went through and I did all the hard areas first. So now that I have all the hard areas done, I'm going to go through and I'm going to fill in the rest of the frame, making sure to finish last with the parts that I have taped up, so then I can hurry up and get my tape off. So yeah, we're gonna wait for that to dry, and then I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like after it dries. But first I gotta get the tape off. So there you guys have it. Plasti Dip on a BMX bike. I just did this one kind of crappy so I can make it kind of look like my car so I could have it on there for a while, but I'm gonna end up tearing it off and doing something different. I just wanted to show you guys what the Plasti Dip looks like and how it goes on. If you guys like this video and you want to see more like it, make sure you go down and hit that subscribe button. If you guys have any questions or comments, go down to the comment section. If you guys want to make fun of us, or if you guys want to bash us or anything like that, it doesn't matter. We're here to stay, and we're here for BMX, and we're here to help you guys out. So yeah, if you guys really like this video, make sure you subscribe. Thanks, guys. That bolt right there